Well, the month of July is now upon us, and it is time to go over all of the new Nintendo Switch game releases that will be available this month. There are some bigger titles on this list, as well as some smaller ones that you may not have known about, and in today's video, I want to share my personal recommendations on which of these games may be worth adding into your Switch library this July right now. What's up, nation? Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification if you haven't already. And as mentioned, guys, today we are going to walk through all of the Nintendo Switch releases that will be coming out in the month of July, according to Releasescom. I like this website. It tends to summarize just about everything that's around the corner in terms of new game releases, and you can filter it by console, even movies and DVDs and stuff like that. If anybody's still buying DVDs, I guess Blu-ray, if you buy movies at all. Anyway, the first game on today's list is Gimmick Special Edition. Now, maybe there's a standard edition of this game. I'm not familiar with it, but looking at the trailer, it does actually look pretty enjoyable for fans of like an old school NES to SNES style or era of gaming, rather. There's even an NES cartridge that's featured in the trailer, which leads me to believe maybe this was originally an NES game. Anyway, it looks good enough. It has like bars on the sides of the screen that you can obviously customize to change around the look of it. It's one that, if it was a big cult classic or a hit, I am not aware of, but it looks fun enough just glancing at the gameplay. And that comes out July 6th. Then we had a few games that didn't necessarily catch my attention. I'll read out all the titles, but if you guys want to go over to releases.com and look for yourself and watch the trailers, I will have that linked in the description down below. Sentimental Deathloop, Necrosmith, Guilt, City Limits, and then The Legend of Heroes Trials into Reverie might be worth looking into for like turn-based JRPG fans. Looks very story heavy. It looks like it almost could be a mobile game, but one of those that's playable on the Nintendo Switch, and that's always the way I would want to do it, so you can have your traditional control options and not the touchscreen stuff. But it looks like you have, you know, a team of various characters that you can swap in and out and unlock abilities, unlock skill trees, all that kind of stuff. Interesting enough boss fights and art styles. These games don't really necessarily pull me into lengthy hours of gameplay, but I know there's a lot of fans of these styles of games out there. That is out July 7th. Also on July 7th, we have Tad the Lost Explorer, Craziest and Madness Edition. Maybe this is a re-release of an existing game. I'm not sure, but there's 2D platforming elements, as you can kind of see on screen. It also seems like it has some perspective shifts at certain points in the trailer. You'll see it going into more of a 3D looking view, as almost just kind of mobile style game, again, where you're swiping over to collect coins and things, but it has an interesting enough graphical style. It might be worth picking up if it's at a low enough price. It looks like there's some stealth elements to the game as well. So if you think it's your type of game, it may be worth checking out. Then we have a few we'll skip past: Rain World Downpour, Oxygen Free 2, Lost Signals, Touhou New World, not familiar with that game at all. Manic Mechanics is one that we saw briefly at the latest Nintendo Direct presentation, and my initial impression of this game, when you just look at the trailer, is this kind of seems like an Overcooked style game, but the theme is around fixing mechanical parts and cars, of course, instead of cooking cohesively in a kitchen together. It's all around like crazy chaos. Couch co-op is the thing, and I'm interested in this one just based off the fact that I had a lot of fun in Overcooked with friends and family. I do think that those are fun games to put on, especially for more casual gamers that you want to get everybody involved. You have to communicate to kind of win together, and that gives me these vibes. So Manic Mechanic, out July 13th this month. Next up, you have Operations Wolf Returns First Mission. Not familiar with that at all. Gravity Circuit. This one gives me Mega Man type vibes, but with definitely different movement, almost Metroidvania character style movement. I really was kind of impressed overall with the trailer on this one, because if you look at it, it looks kind of like you're playing Mega Man X, but then you see the quick, very fast action combat going on and the different abilities that this character has. And for not seeing this game before doing any research on this video, I am impressed with this one. It's definitely one that I will add to my list of games that I need to check out at some point. May wait for an eShop sale. I don't think I'll be getting it right at release, but this one definitely seems like for Mega Man / Metroidvania style gameplay fans, you probably want to take a steeper, closer look to this one, because I was pretty impressed with it, and that one is out July 13th. From there, we have Atler Marie Remake, out July 13th, Ember Nights, Nights is one that looks pretty good from today's list as well. It's a top-down action-adventure game. It's got a nice dodge roll mechanic and what seems to be a pretty intuitive combat system, and it supports 4-player co-op. So this one seems like there'd be a lot of chaos on screen at all times, some interesting boss-looking characters as well, and I definitely had my interest peak going through the trailer for this one, and that will be out July 18th on your Switch. Then you have Lisa Definitive Edition, Turbo Overkill, Cross Tales, which is more of a strategy RPG game. Not exactly one that stood out to me the most, but I did like the art style enough to mention it. So strategy RPG fans, maybe look into that one. Nobunga's Ambition Awakening, Punch Club 2 Fast Forward, Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, and then you have Pikmin 4, of course, the only major first-party Nintendo published game. It is out July 21st. This is going to be a big one for Pikmin fans, but also people like me who have kind of appreciated the series from the outside looking in, but have never really put in the full length of time that is required to consider yourself a Pikmin fan. We now have all Pikmin games playable on the Nintendo Switch, which is really cool. So if you're looking for something to play right now, you can pick up Pikmin 1 and 2 digitally on the Switch for $50, play through those as they're not the most lengthy games out there, then pick up Pikmin 3 Deluxe and you'll be ready to go by the 21st when Pikmin 4 comes out. The big thing that they've been showcasing is kind of the nighttime play mechanic, as you can go out at night for the first time in the series, and they do have, glow up Pikmin as well that kind of work into the whole strategy. I'm more excited to get into this gameplay loop as I make time for it, and I will be checking out the demo that is now available on the eShop. So if you want to have something that you can check out that's a new first-party Nintendo published game that will likely get more traction than it's ever gotten in franchise history before, I would at the very minimum check out the Pikmin 4 demo that's on the eShop right now and go from there on whether or not you want to potentially get into the series or not. The game looks beautiful at the very least, and it's great to see that Nintendo is supplying Pikmin fans with new content. And the nice part is you don't have to wait much longer to finally play it. Next up, we have Mr. Run and Jump, and I did like the graphical style of this one. You look like a neon sprite type character, and it looks like one of those insanely difficult platforming, like just don't die. You're going to try over and over again before you probably finally can progress and correctly complete the levels. I'm sure they get crazier in difficulty as it goes, but this looks like a lot of fun to me. I like those fast reaction time type of games that tend to be frustrating, but the payoff is always there once you actually conquer the level that you're stuck on. And that one will be out on July 25th. Then we have The Expanse, a Telltale series. One of the episodes, I can't see which one it is because it's going off screen. Anyway, that's out July 27th. Sword and Fairy Inn 2. Then we have Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons. I actually was not aware that this game was coming out in the month of July, but here it is. And if you're a Double Dragon fan, just that classic beat 'em up style gameplay, this is one that you have to definitely add into your list of games to purchase this month. I mean, it is one that actually looks really fun to play. If you're a fan of Turtles games, obviously most recently with TMNT Shredder's Revenge, that was a fantastic game. This is right up your wheelhouse if you're a fan of those. So you can see it from everything on screen, all the action, all the unique moves and enemies that you come across, but this looks great. I love the throwback to the classic beat 'em up genre of games, and that will be out on July 27th. And there's only one more game we're going to spend any length of time on. You see Pixel Junk Scrappers Deluxe, Koa and the Five Pirates of Mara, Super Sean 007, and then the big one for me, and I'm going to keep my eye on this one, I will actually be picking it up, is Illusion Island, or Disney Illusion Island rather. This is one that kind of gives me that throwback vibe to the old SNES and Genesis Mickey Mouse games, as they were fantastic platformers, and I love to see 2D platformers brought back in the modern era, and this is yet another type of game that you can pick up and play with friends, similar to what we're expecting with Sonic Superstars and Super Mario Wonder. This is that type of gameplay experience, but different. It looks like it has some unique puzzles as you progress through the levels. It looks like the platforming is top notch. Maybe you could relate it a little bit to Rayman's Legends also, but I do think that this one has promise to it, mainly for, again, the character nostalgia around it. It's the Disney characters that you knew and loved growing up, and they're in a action adventure platformer with that 2D style, but obviously modern visuals, and I'm pumped for this one. Not to mention the fact that 4-player co-op, just being able to hop in and out as you progress through the game, is a huge win in my opinion, and there's some interesting enough boss fights that are showcased as well. So this one definitely has my interest peaked. It's one that will close out the month towards the end on July 28th. And that'll about do it for me on any of the Nintendo Switch releases that stood out to me in July. Definitely hop over to the website and check it out for yourself to see if there's any that I didn't mention that do look good, because I didn't spend a ton of time on each and every one of them. But that's what our July 2023 looks like for Nintendo Switch game releases. Definitely let me know if you're planning on picking up any of these games in the comments down below. So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.